behind me is 2012 Citroen DS4. Was going to say 3, but it's not. How did it get along with its MOT? Well, we'll find out in this video. Now, forgive me when I say that the audio is not going to be brilliant in this video, and that's because my Rode Wireless Go is still waiting on a part. This will have to do. How did this car get on with its first MOT with us? So to make it a little bit easier for you guys to hear me at this point, I've decided to sit in the car to talk to you about how the DS4 got along. So in my last video, guys, on the DS4, you see me do a little mini pre-MOT inspection. That was checking the wipers, the fluid, and also fixing those sensors that were dangling behind the wheels, as you've seen in the last video. Well, guys, I'm glad to say that although there is some sort of a knocking noise somewhere, or something in this door panel here is making a rattling noise, the car, unbelievably, passed its MOT, which is great, because when we first got this car, I said that because it has no service history relating to a cam belt change, we were going to treat this car to a full service as well as having its cam belt done. Now, how did that go? Well, very interesting, actually, because when we got the car back after its MOT, it had a couple of advisories, which was to do with, one, the brake discs looked, well, let's just say they look weathered, but they stop the car brilliantly. This car literally stops on a 5p. And then the other one was to do with the wiper blades are not clearing the windscreen effectively. They need changing and what have you, which is true, because of late we've realised that the rubber has actually come off the wiper. So we have a new set of wipers. But anyways, relating to the cam belt, we got the car there, and I was concerned because obviously there was no history that it had ever been changed. The car is a 12 plate, so it's 12 years old to date, and it's now on 93,000, but when we had it done it was on 92,000. I could hear a squeak every time the car would turn on, which I thought could be related to water pump. And if that is the case, what are the chances that the belt has not been done? Now, this car gets used quite often. My partner does a lot of driving in this car for her work, so it needs to be reliable, especially if little one's in the car as well. So anyways, the guy who sorted out the car for us told us that it was on its original belt. So this car was practically running on borrowed time, because it was on 92,000 miles, and the service records does say that it should either do 100,000 miles or 6 years, whatever's closest. That's when the interval is to change your cam belts on most cars. And this exceeded that by quite a number of years. And it was close to 100,000 miles. So it was quite touch and go. This car was running on borrowed time. 680 quid later, the car is all sorted, and now that worry has gone away, because we now know the car is running on a nice new cam belt with a nice new water pump, and it's been fully serviced, it's been MOT'd, and the car drives puck. So in this video then, guys, it's going to be quite a little bit of a boring video from here on, because my objective today is to change these wipers. And if you guys haven't already noted, probably not from the front as you've already seen, but the back of the car especially, we've had this car for a good 8 months nearly, and I've only ever cleaned it once by hand. Other times it's just been to the car wash, quick rinses here and there. We've had shocking weather, etc, etc, and we are due more bad weather, but I've cleaned my insignia more than I've cleaned this car. So this car is overdue a deep bloody clean. So that's the objective for this video, is a clean.
Tell me, baby, what's the problem? 'Cause I keep trying to figure it out. Oh no, oh no. Tell me, baby, what's the problem? I'm only picking up what you're putting down. You'll be tripping, I don't know what about. So what's the problem right now?
As soon as I open the unit, this is what I'm greeted to. Shit. There will be an update on this old girl in the next couple of, well, probably a week or so. I'm still undecided what I'm going to be doing with it, but I think I'm leaning to one way, and I will explain that in the next video. Now, first of all, we can't actually access these wipers without putting them into a safe mode, and as you can see, yeah, that's gone. So to do that on one of these, open the car and then flick this up, and that lets the wipers up enough so that you can change them, which on this one you press this nifty little button here and that comes off. That was more difficult than what I thought it would be, just because they had been on for such a long time. Chuck these in here for now because, well, I'll need to go to the skip at some point. Change the wipers and they work, fucking mint. Now I'm getting this car cleaned. Must make sure I use this stuff as well, because this is a godsend for cars that haven't been cleaned for a while, especially on their wheels. So the reason why I'm using this product to do the wheels is it goes into effectively like a red or purplish dye, and that gets rid of any tar that comes up on the wheels. It makes it so much easier to clean rather than using a lot of elbow grease to try and get off any stubborn sort of brake dust. But as you can see, it comes off with ease, and I still go over later on in this video with a sponge just to make sure I've got everything off. And it makes such a difference cleaning these wheels, because it really does show off any car as having nice clean wheels. At the moment they look like they're graphite grey, but when you actually take off all that brake dust, it actually comes up to a really nice sort of titanium grey, which I don't think is the original colour for these wheels. They must have been redone, but as you can tell, just giving it a general wash down with the jet wash, it's making the car look a lot better, getting rid of all that salt and all that debris that has built up on the car through the miles that we've done it. And as you can see, the wheels look purple, and with washing them off, they come out a much better colour. In fact, whoever chose the colour for these wheels really does suit the silver on this car. And even though it is a 12 plate and it is covered in scratches in places here and there, it still scrubs up really nicely. The product I'm using to clean the car is a product I've always used for all of my cars, and I never have an issue with cleaning cars with this product, and that's using the Demon Shine Simple Wash that they have. But you can get them in a box bundle at B&M. They're usually pretty cheap, but I tend to go to Halfords and get the bigger bottles of them, and it does make the car really shine. Any faded paintwork, especially if you're using the spray on shine, it tends to bring up that paint, and it also gets a lot of the stuff off your chrome bits, as you can see I'm doing with the grille here. It really does make the car look smart. I know a lot of people tend to chrome cars, but on this car it really does bring out all the lines, especially underneath that reg plate. And I've never had an issue with Demon Shine, and it always goes on all of my cars. Now giving the car a hose down, it really does make this paintwork shine. It does come up really, really nicely. It's always satisfying to look at it before and after with any car that I do. And looking at this, with minimal effort, it makes this car look really, really good. It's got rid of any tar or any bugs on the bonnet without using any glass cleaner, which is what I also commonly use to clean it with. Okay, so now the car is washed. It just needs a gentle drying around it, but I think these cars are very understated. You know, I mean, when we first got this car, we were looking at it, the back end looked great, and I wasn't so sure on the front. I think it just needed something to make it look a little bit more meaner, but now we've had it for a little while, and I don't know how well you can hear me with this wind, but it actually looks really, really good. And it's a lot better than what it was, especially on the back end. The wheels look better. They could do with a refurb at some point. The car needs an entire good polish because there's a couple of scratches here and there. But I've got to remember this is a 12-year-old car. But it does look good, I must give it that. So now that the interior and the exterior are clean, there's just one more thing left to do before we drive this, and that is one slight small problem. The cigarette lighter does not work. We think that the fuse has blown in it, and the fuse is in this glove box behind this, behind all of this spaghetti junction. I'm going to find out which fuse it is, which is all the way, I think, usually on these Citroens, they're behind everything somewhere up there. See if you guys can see it. You can see a couple. Okay, so the one we need is actually, just for reference for anybody, that one there, F13, which I can only just about see in there. You guys won't be able to. Once you move some of that wiring harness, you can see on the left hand side there of your screen some fuses. That's all of that's these here, and the ones we need are there, which, as you guys can see, is a bit tough to get at. I'll have another crack at this and see if I can get that cable to move out of the way, because that'll give me just a little bit more room. Wait a minute, just before I carry on, I didn't actually record the next segment of this video, and that was because it was such an awkward job to get to that 13 fuse. So I had to use pliers, I had to even use nail clippers in some case to try and get at it, because I realised the little fuse gripper was actually missing from the car, hence why you could see a gaping hole in that fuse panel. And now that cigarette lighter is working as it should. Right then, now that's all sorted, let's take this car for a little drive. Okay, so here we go in the DS4 again. All nice and clean, all MOT'd, all serviced, and with a new cam belt. You may notice there may be a squeak or a noise coming from somewhere over on the passenger side, but let's be honest, we all have music on and it's not something too concerning. The only thing that's left to do with this car to maintain how good it is the fan belts. The fan belt's looking a bit dry rotted as well. That's definitely on the to-do list. But put my foot down, this little 1.6 diesel isn't too shabby. Even cornering wise and going around a roundabout here, it's just glued to the road. I do like this car. I've never always liked French cars, really, especially after the DS3. But this car, this is a good car. Put into third. picks up pretty quickly. And the brakes, with a light touch, it stops. And in relation to what we're going to do with this car, it is literally just Sarah's car, this now. You know, it's a car that she's going to use to get to A to B quite safely and reliably and economically, because we found out yesterday my Insignia on the same trip uses more fuel than this car does. But no, I think we're going to keep this car long term, even if I was to like get rid of the Insignia and keep this even. Who knows? Am I saying I like this more than the Insignia? No. But this car has its pluses and its minuses, and vice versa with the Insignia in a sense. This car being 12 years old, the devaluation on this car is already done. Now sure, this car totaled to around 5 grand, just shy, when we got it. And that was because it was at a dealer, and to be fair, they did spend, because of our complaints, they spent a good 2.5 grand on it at the time. We've just spent 680 quid on doing the serviceable bits done, even though I had a service back then. Gotta remember, we've had the car for 8 months, and well, it was on 82, it's now on 93, so it was due a service anyway regardless. Anyways guys, thank you very much for watching this video on the DS4. There will be an update on the Vectra B in due course. I'm still deciding what to do with that car. I've had a chat to a couple of friends. I'm not going to give anything away, but a video will be up in due course as an update. So stay tuned for that video anyways guys. Thank you very much for watching, and also if you want to see more content on this channel relating to more cars or more bits on the cars I currently possess, leave a like and subscribe. And if you have any comments regarding the DS4 and what you guys think of it, leave a comment below. Anyways guys, take care and stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.